This is Hannibal coming at you here with a daily wrestling news update for you. Let me jump right into it. SmackDown on Friday averaged 1,418,000 viewers for a 0.43 rating. AEW Rampage on Friday averaged 241,000 viewers, 0.09 rating. NXT is coming to the ECW arena. I believe it's next week or the week after. Don't have the date right in front of me, but they're going to be using Dawn Marie. They are going head to head with Dynamite on this night. And I can almost guarantee you they're 100% going to. First of all, Dynamite only did a 0.19 last week. So the ratings aren't that good. But ECW Arena, I mean, they used Bubba Ray Dudley recently on NXT. Obviously, it's going to have an ECW feel to it. They'll be out of that Performance Center, which, if you're like me, I hate the look of the Performance Center. Just so colorful, flashy. There's no grit to it. I like it way better when it's in a different venue. So I definitely think NXT is going to kick AEW's ass on that particular night. Mick Foley was on CNN pushing Kamala Harris in response to The Undertaker and Kane doing a video backing WWE Hall of Famer Donald Trump, who I will predict is going to win. There just seems to be a lot of momentum behind him. PFL, the Professional Fighting League's business is not great. However, they're getting huge money from Saudi Arabia. TV ratings are not good. Pay-per-view buys are not good. I heard Dave Meltzer say he doesn't understand why they don't put these big fights that they keep paying for on free TV because no one's buying the pay-per-views. It would seem like more people would watch them if they were on free TV. AEW's business obviously is not doing great these days. Adam Cole and John Moxley are pretty stale. They have no real draws as far as like anything to get people into the buildings. The false advertising of talent has greatly affected their return attendance, and the long shows has also affected it. And the atmosphere of having 1,000 to 2,000 people in these 20,000 seat buildings makes it hard to get like a good crowd atmosphere. They'd be better going to smaller arenas and having them full. Apparently, they were papering Collision last Saturday like crazy because the pre-sale was under 1,000 just a couple days before. I guess we'll find that was in, I believe, Iowa. I think we're going to have a final number on how many people were in there coming up. But yeah, they should be going to like the Hammerstein ballrooms, the ECW arenas, the smaller places where it will seem like they have a good atmosphere. It's going to be interesting to know if it's released how much they lost this year, because it goes without saying they probably lost a fortune on all their Canadian shows because there's no announcements of them coming back to Canada anytime soon. And they false advertise talents on all their Canadian shows, so you can only imagine the returns. Wouldn't it be great? There we go. Next week, November 6th, AEW is head-to-head. Thank you, Orlo Myers. So, yeah, I think I'll go out on the limb and predict it. AEW is going to get their ass kicked. Here's the other thing, and I've heard Dave Meltzer say this. They're paying all these stars millions and millions of dollars, or somewhat stars, and they're not even using them on the shows. There's so much weird, bizarre stuff in AEW. Like if you're paying people $4 to $6 million a year, why do we have a show full of unknowns? Or maybe like a couple of stars? Wouldn't you want to pack every single show to make them as best as possible? It's mind-blowing to me. It'll give you a headache. But whatever. By the way, speaking of ECW, I'm going to be interviewing Mustafa of the Gangsters coming up this weekend. This is a Dallas Cowboys hat, which I must say, even though I went to a New York Jets versus Buffalo Bills game a couple weeks ago. The Dallas fans, believe it or not, I have a ton of fans in Dallas. But New York is actually my number one fan base of the Hannibal TV. But for some reason, Dallas still holds a special place in my heart. As does Phoenix. Mike, we'll get those one of these days. There's a bunch I'm working on, and I'm also working on going to the U.S. for the winter. It's freezing here in Canada, and doing a ton of in-person interviews this winter. So I'm working on that as we speak. Wish everybody a good afternoon.